Hey everyone, Tutu back with some Spyral Danger gameplay again. I still love the Dangers. And yeah, so I had a few people asking me in the Discord, the Master Duel Metal Discord, like, how would you play Danger decks? Like, how would you play Danger hands? Because they're kind of confusing sometimes, and like the way you would run them isn't always intuitive. Generally speaking, you just throw them off. But the main thing you have to do is look at your hand and see what cards do you not want to discard off your Danger. I'm obviously insulated from Max C here because I drew 2 Ash Blossoms, and I'm also okay with discarding an Ash Blossom for that same reason, right? I don't want to discard my Quik Fix. Quik Fix is my best normal summon because it gets me into a big red, and generally it's just a good card to have on the field because it goes into Helix and then revives itself. So the main thing you want to do here is like make sure you don't discard your Quik Fix. So I'm going to open up my turn with Quik Fix. So Quik Fix is going to go make Big Red, and then I can set my Big Red and activate it later so it doesn't get discarded off of Danger. So my general idea here is both Danger Tsuchinoko and Danger Jackalope are guaranteed dark monsters on the field, right? Tsuchinoko, no matter what it hits, is going to hit the board, and if it discards Jackalope, I get another Danger, and if it discards an Ash, I draw a card, right? Then I can activate my Jackalope, and no matter what, I'm going to get another Danger on the field, and because I can turn Quik Fix into Linkuriboh, I can go Linkuriboh, Danger, Danger into Curious, get my Master Plan in the graveyard, flip over Big Red, and summon Master Plan. Now, that's not ideal because it doesn't let me get Tuner into play to make Crystron Halqifibrax go in my Jet Synchron plays, but it is, sometimes you have to accept, like, Dangers allow you to extend bad hands into playable hands, and it turns great hands into amazing hands, right? So, I'm just going to go activate Tsuchinoko, I discard Nash. That makes sense, and I draw a master plan. Okay, that changes the math, right? Now I have a master plan drawn. Usually you don't want to draw a master plan, but this deck has so many more ways to get it into the graveyard from the hand via Dark Grepher, via Dangers, and like so it's not always bad to draw it. So I'm just going to activate this Jackalope, hoping I hit my master plan, because if I hit this master plan, I'm off to the races. I can Monster Reborn master plan, use her effect, get Curious. Curious can get my Destrudo into the graveyard, and then I can just start going from there, right? So go ahead and use Jackalope, discard Jackalope. So it hits itself, unfortunately. That's the worst option. My opponent obviously doesn't have anything I need to Ash on my turn, so I would have loved to discard Ash there and draw a card. But, you gotta live with what you have. So, but I do have 2 monsters on the field that I can turn to Barricade Borg Blocker. Now, usually you're using Barricade Borg Blocker to 1, chain block your master plan, and 2, discard a Spyral mission, either rescue or assault, typically. But you gotta, realize, your cards are more versatile than just their regular lines and regular combos. This is a non-standard combo, but I can use Barricade Borg Blocker to discard Master Plan and get her in the graveyard, and then I can Big Red her. I am using up one of my discards on getting Master Plan to the graveyard, which will potentially stop me in my combo in the future, but you gotta live with that, right? This is the most efficient way for me to get my loop going on my Spyral combo. So I go ahead and use Barricade Borg Blocker, get Master Plan, activate Big Red, get Master Plan, use Master Plan's effect, and because I already used my normal summon on Quik Fix, I need to use Assault. I'm going to link these 2 off into a Helix. That's really my only option here. I can't go into Link. I need to get my Helix into play, and I can't go into Linkuriboh early because I couldn't make Helix then. I have no way to get my Quik Fix back on the field, right? This is a downside. So this is kind of similar if I had done a regular Spyral combo. If I didn't go into Linkuriboh first, and this deck actually needs Linkuriboh in the graveyard in this situation to stop it from clogging its own link zones, right? My Barricade Borg Blocker is in my extra monster zone, Helix is in my Borg Blocker's link zone, and then I'm going to have to summon a Master Plan here. I don't really have a way to go into Linkuriboh without, linking off monsters, and every time you link off a monster, you have to put it in this zone, right? So I'm not going to have an easy time getting Master Plan plus Linkuriboh plus Barricade Borg Blocker onto the field at the same time. And that's kind of one of the downsides of a pseudo, not full combo opening hand. I'm going to use my Master Plan effect to get Resort and Sleeper, and I can go ahead and grab my Super Agent, which is, it's fine. When I bring back, use Quik Fix, discard Assault. This is obviously necessary to turn my Helix on, because I don't have another way to... I can't revive any monsters until I get another Master Plan through Helix. So I'll go ahead and use Assault, get a Drone, and at this point I see my opponent's an Eldlich deck, so I stack a Conquistador. Conquistador's going to be really bad against Sleeper, so I just go ahead and get that. And I get Master Plan gets Rescue Mission, and there we go. Now I can link these 2 off into Princess Sprite. So, at this point, if I was running a Tri-Gate list, this would be fine, right? I could actually set up a Tri-Gate Sleeper setup, but, that's only 1 negate, and, you'd have to be wasting your Nightmare Phoenix on the Link setup, which is bad because you want to have your Nightmare Phoenix on your next turn against an Eldlich deck for sure, and you'd be using a whole lot of material for 1 negate. And Appaloosa isn't going to be great here, though I'm still going to make it because might as well. But yeah. I'm going to go ahead and use Princess Sprite, activate Princess Sprite, get Quik Fix to the graveyard, and I'm the luckiest man alive. You know, Jackalope sniped itself, so I'm not that lucky, but I got a Foolish Burial off the top with the Princess Sprite. And this is kind of why you run Princess Sprite over other level 1 Xyz. There are other options, like there's that one Xyz that's basically a Crooked Cook. That's really good if your opponent max sees you and you have like you're just staring at a board with Quik Fix and Magician Souls. You don't want to die next turn. But yeah, this is pretty solid because I can now get my Destrudo into graveyard. I can actually just skip the entire Curious part of the combo. I don't need to make Curious. I can just get Destrudo. So yeah, this is why you run Princess Sprite. Now, it wasn't just a 1 in 26 chance there. I can get Jet Synchron off the top would have worked. A Monster Reborn off the top would have worked. Another, let's see, what else was there? A Monster Reborn would have worked. So, you know, there were some other outs, right, besides just Foolish Burial, but this was pretty good, obviously. So go ahead and use Quik Fix discard, Rescue Mission, bring back Quik Fix, and I go ahead and get a Last Resort. Drop a Foolish Burial into Destrudo, and then I can use Destrudo off my Quik Fix, and we're off to the races. That's a full combo at that point. I can turn these 3 into Appaloosa because I just don't need them for anything else. Appaloosa is obviously not great against Eldlich, but you know, it's an attacker and it might stop an Eldlich effect or something. So I can go ahead and turn my Destrudo and my double Helix into Crystron, and Crystron's going to get me a Jet Synchron as per usual. Use my Rescue Mission, bring back Master Plan, and Borreload Savage Dragon is actually really good against Eldlich because the negates over multiple turns is pretty good. On their turn and your turn is solid. So I'll go ahead and turn these 2 into Borreload Savage Dragon. And now I don't, because I skipped Curious, I can only like get a Barricade Board Blocker, which isn't ideal. It's only 2 negates, but it's still pretty good. And also Curious is a better equip because when it goes to the graveyard, you get a card. But you know, I bring back my Jet Synchron to discard Rescue Mission, special summon my Agent because I know their top card, and I make my IP Masquerena. And yeah, that's full combo, full board, and I skipped Curious to do it. And I even have a card in hand left over for my IP Masquerena effect. So I'll go ahead and equip Last Resort and Sleeper. So, you know, I've kind of shown this board before, but this is how you would... last time I had a 1-for-1, right? And 1-for-1's not very fair. It's super powerful. But yeah, this is an ancillary way to get there, even though I didn't have Magician Souls, right? Like, you think of most of your best combos as starting with Magician Souls or maybe Dark Grepher. But yeah, this is getting there purely off Dangers and Quik Fix as opposed to Magician Souls and Quik Fix. So we got our Borreload Omni Negate. We got our 3 Appaloosa Negates, though against Eldlich you're rarely using all of them. Your Sleeper, which is the best card in this matchup, bar none. It pops 2 back row on both turns, every turn, and it's hard to destroy. Eldlich just struggles beating this card without like just sending an Eldlich from hand to send it to the graveyard, which is usually really bad for them. Then I've got my Crystron Halqifibrax, which can go into Desert Locusts, forcing a discard, which is pretty good against Eldlich. Stopping them from getting their first back row effect before they go into the graveyard is really good. And then I got a secondary Spell Trap negate by turning Desert Locust and Quik Fix into F.A Dawn Dragster. And finally, I have my, as mentioned before, my IP Masquerena spin. And really, really good in this matchup that this board sets up is Rescue Mission for Super Agent. So on my opponent's turn, I can, once I've used some of my monster effects to clear some space, I can Rescue Mission back my Super Agent and pop one of their back row. Really good against Eldlich. And if I need it, I have an Ash. So that's it. And I'm going to use my Resort to put Tsuchi back in the deck because Tsuchinoko is pretty good. I love that Snake. Snake rules. And then my opponent's going to go. They're going to activate Super Poly. Now, Super Poly is hilarious because I can't friggin' respond to it. Neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. It's a really great board breaker, and Eldlich is running it. And so the only cards I have that they can actually make into a Mud Drag, which is the only Super Poly target I imagine they run. Maybe they run Intis, but I don't think so. They're going to go into Mud Dragon. Now, Mud Dragon's actually kind of funny here because it's really good against... It's kind of good against Sleeper, but now that my opponent's given me priority by summoning a monster, I can go ahead and activate Crystron. But my opponent did answer 2 of my cards with one of their cards, kind of. Super Poly does require a discard, so they had to discard a Conquistador, which is, this card replaces itself for value, but it's not outing my board yet. It's just going to replace itself. So it's kind of 2 cards for 2 cards at that point, which is kind of what you're expecting with your board anyhow. You've got more than 6 interactions, so every time they do this, it's fine. My opponent's going to activate Mud Dragon, which is relevant on this board, and the reason why is Sleeper is a light monster, right? He can turn Mud Dragon into a light monster, and your opponent cannot target monsters of the same attribute with card effects. So, amusingly, I can't targeting Sleeper to pop cards because it can't target light monsters with Sleeper. I could negate that with Appaloosa, but why? Like, it would just let him attack over my Appaloosa with Mud Dragon, which is answering another card. And I can still pop my own Spyral Resort, which is fine. So I'll go ahead and do the Desert Locust play. Force my opponent to discard. They discard the, there we go. They discard the Guardian of the Golden something, I don't know. And I get my F.A. Dawn Dragster, which is great, because then they play a card that would go get a Eldlich. And I can just negate that. Easy. I'm kicking them off with Eldlich, basically. And they've set 2 back row. And they're going to start activating their own trap cards to, recycle cards. I'm just going to, pop Sleeper, pop their 2 before they can do anything. My opponent is going to keep activating their Eldlich trap cards to replace themselves, but I don't really care at this point because I'm going to have 3 back row pops, and I don't know how they're answering a Sleeper. Even though I have to target my own Spyral Resort, on my next turn I can just attack over the Mud Dragon and then start using Sleeper like regular again, and there's no way my opponent can beat that. So I go ahead and use Rescue Mission, bring back Super Agent. They're going to chain their Elixir in Graveyard. This doesn't matter. This card is obviously a spell card, so they can't use it because it's an end phase. And this card is Conquistador, and Conquistador is going to do absolutely nothing once I pop their Elixir because they can't get their Eldlich into rotation. So pop their last spell trap that matters. These 2 cards don't matter anymore. And I draw my card, and my opponent goes ahead and concedes. Don't you just love crushing Eldlich? Obviously, I got to go first, so it was a lot easier, but this kind of shows like Spyral has a lot of fun outs to Eldlich anyhow. I kind of showed it in a previous video, like how you can use like Forbidden Droplets and stuff to get around Eldlich cards. But Sleeper plus Last Resort is good enough. That little combo is so hard for them to out without Imperial Order. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that kind of showed you how good dangers are as extenders and combo pieces in a deck that needs them, right? A deck that needs draw power and needs bodies on board to get going. If you got any more questions, or if you want to see more like how I navigate a handful of dangers to combo off, then let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.